Vortex here, and welcome to my review of the Edifier Neobuds Pro. As you can see, these, as of this video when it was made, these are the flagship true wireless from Edifier. I've actually tried the NB2 Pro and the TWS 1 Pro, I think is the correct name, and they were pretty good examples, and this is probably more of the same. And yeah, as usual, full disclaimer is these are actually sent out to me from Edifier, so thank you very much. I was not paid to do this video, and all the thoughts and opinions are my own. And let's get into the video. I'll have to say they come in a crazy kind of overkill package, like to the Sony XM4, which I'm going to compare to a lot in this video. The Sonys come in that box, and that's quite a difference. But anyway, before I get off track too much, so they also come with this. So Edifier have gone completely overkill with what you get. So anyway, Neobuds Pro in this kind of silver reflective packaging, high res because they do LDAC and LHDC, I think it is. Just what comes in the box, which you'll see. We'll see in a bit. Obviously, it's like a black silver, which you'll see soon. So they do LHDC. Unfortunately, I can't test that, but I have tested LDAC before this video. So high res does LDAC and LHDC, low latency, high definition audio codec. It's kind of China's version of LDAC, probably basically the same way of doing it. They do have active noise cancellation and ambient modes, which I'll tell you about later on. 24-hour battery life with the case, tell you about that in a bit. IP54 rating, which is quite good. And there is an Edifier app. I will do a separate section of the video to show you what you can do with that. And yeah, so let's see what you get. As you say, like, it's completely crazy overkill packaging. So 25 years, which is good, because I've tried a few Edifier things and I actually do have some Edifier speakers. Again, it's this kind of foam, which is crazy. Obviously I've took them out. I'll show you them in a second. So it comes with 2 tips already on it. It's in the bottom. So yeah, it comes with a lot. Small to large, and I like these half sizes. It's quite cool. So plenty of tips. A bunch of documentation, if I get that out. Bunch of paperwork, warning. Let's see what this one is. Just a user guide. Really brief one. It's a quick start guide. How to pair, reset in case you have any issues. Controls, which are fully adjustable, which I'll show you. The app is quite thorough, so I'll show you that in a bit. Get a kind of portable little, so you get the bag I've shown you, and you also you get this. So let's open this. Let's do it the other way. That's it. It's like a kind of waterproof material. It's pretty good. Some silica gel, and here is the Type-C cable. You're bound to have some of these around the house anyway, because obviously from your phone, but yeah. So I'm going to just show you the earbuds now quickly. So obviously there's a slight spoiler, I've been using these, but that's the bottom, nothing there. Type-C on the back. Kind of a brushed aluminium finish. If you've seen this show Knight Rider, you'll know exactly what that's like. And that's it. So I'm going to show you a bit more in depth in a bit. Obviously there's the button to pair and reset if you have to. Again, very similar to the NB2 Pro I've tried, which is the same as the NB2. And yet these are a hybrid, so these are 10mm I think dynamic and a Knowles balanced armature. That's probably one of the reasons why these are a bit more expensive, left and right. And yes, so in the next clip I'm going to show you the app, and then after that I'll do a microphone test, then I'll finally get onto the review of the actual Neobuds Pro. So this is a run over of the Edifier Neobuds Pro app. Obviously I'm using them both in stereo. You can use them individually, and this is what the actual app looks like. So you can see on the left and right 100% because I've fully charged them. I've also fully charged again the case, but the case is not by me, so it says it's offline, but it does display the battery life of the case. You can see the 4 different modes. You just click between them. Obviously I can hear these prompts. Ambient sound, you can change the level, normal mode, swipe across. Got 2 kind of presets, classic and dynamic. Then you click customized. Choose what you want. You can change the frequency and all that good stuff. Rename, delete, share if you want to do that. Scroll across again. Gaming mode, which reduces it to 80 milliseconds. I think it does help. I only tried it once because I don't typically game on mobile phones, but I had no issue. It seems fine. So you go back to that. Let's go to Mall, which is basically like linked to a store. It's linking there to different items. Same for Discover, links to their website. More, which is just settings, so customized tuning, again it links to the EQ page. Device supported, shows what the device supports. So the top left corner you can see Neobuds Pro, which is these, and then the NB2 Pro, which I also have. And then the 4th row down, headphones, again it supports a lot of devices, and I've tried it with the W820MB, works fine. So view widgets, you can change how the widget works. I'll show that in the widget in a second. FAQs, all the information's there about us, what app version and things like that. So the widget, that's the ones you can quickly pick between them. Obviously I'm using a screen recorder so you can actually see the app. Again, no issues with anything like that. So go back to the beginning, let's go to settings. So mine is version 2.1.6. You can change the name of the actual device to tap setting. You can change what each one does. So double tap, triple tap. Right one. Disconnect Bluetooth, repair, factory settings. Is there, user manual. Again, it's very straightforward. Normally with most phones, you figure out how to do it. Oh, that's all that there. Turn it off. Tap sensitivity I've set as 15, so in the middle. Again, I have no issues with that. LHDC, again, I couldn't test it. But you can pick what you want. If you click close, it will default to AAC. So I'm connected. I am using LDAC. Works fine. You get any information's there. Bit of information, but look at the end. It says playback and may be stuck. Wait for the phenomenon. Please forgive me. So that's quite funny. Again, if you click close LDAC, if you click confirm, it will do. It will go back to AAC. So, and that's pretty much it. So, very straightforward. This is just a quick microphone test of the Edifier Neobuds Pro. I'm just speaking in a quiet room, and I'm using them both in stereo, so that means they're both in my ears at once. Just speaking actually at a normal speaking volume, which you probably use for like calls now, and that's pretty much it. And yeah, this is just a microphone test of the Edifier Neobuds Pro. So finally on to the review part of the Edifier Neobuds Pro. As you just seen on the footage for the app, it's very fully featured, and the microphone is very good. So you've heard those. I'm quite happy with the mic. It's very good. So battery life. So battery life on these is, they stated 6 hours from the buds and 24 from the case. That's about right. But if you use the active noise cancelling modes, you'll get about 5. So bear that in mind. So, and let's get into comfort and fit. Comfort and fit is actually quite good. The shell is kind of big. Then obviously there's a stem. I had no issues with it, but obviously your mileage may vary, so I had no problems kind of with that at all. The touch sensitivity on these, again, I had no issues with either. Let's open this up. The Night Rider case. So this part of the shell is kind of big. Same as the MB2 Pro I've tried, I had no issues at all. And the button is about here. Again, no issues. You can change it to whatever you want through, you know, in the app, double tap, triple tap, whatever you want. It does all that. There's IP54 rated as well, which is kind of cool. Again, no issues at all. Signal strength is better with LDAC off, but if your phone is on you, you should be fine really. Obviously it falls back to AAC when you turn the high codecs off, so bear that in mind. Again, no issues. And with LDAC on compared to AAC, everything sounds a little clearer, is probably the best way to describe it. It doesn't really sound different as in a sound signature, it just sounds clearer from my actual kind of experience. So that's what it looks like. Very cool. L, the one says R microphones. There's a couple in there. Obviously one does your voice and one does, you know, the noise cancelling and things like that. So yeah, noise cancelling and ambient mode. There is 2 modes of noise cancellation. One is like high and one's like lower. They both work very well. The high mode is the most powerful way of doing it. And it's very effective in all sorts of manners. It works very good. Ambient mode, again, works very well. You can hear everything, which is kind of cool. Not much to say really. They do work very well. Yes, the controls fine. So sound. So like now this is done on connected to my PC with Bluetooth. So now is the graph of them. They graph better than I expected. So bass, they do have a sub bass elevation. So the mid bass is kind of leaner and the bleed is smaller. I don't mind that. It's actually quite well tuned, and these use a DD and a Knowles BA. So they've done a quite good job tuning them. It looks a little wonky, about 125 Hertz, 130. But when I graphed it multiple times, it kept changing a little bit. But you don't really hear that little step. But yeah, these are more sub-bass focused, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I had no issues at all with that. It didn't sound bloated or nothing like that. It's tuned a lot better than I expected for true wireless. So mids are very smooth, as you can see. So there's a very small amount of bleed. I don't mind that. Stops the sounding thin. Then obviously there's an elevation towards the top of the mids. Again, very gentle rise. So everything sounds kind of natural with these, considering it's a DD and a balanced armature. Again, the actual link between the drivers, the crossover, is actually quite good. And then into, yeah, so I can't fault the mids really at all. So treble, the only thing of note is the peak, about 4.5K. So it depends on your tracks you listen to, you may actually hear that. Most of the time, or well, to be honest, like 95% of the time, I didn't really notice that. Just depends on what you actually are listening to. Yeah, so treble is fine. Everything sounds detailed. Instrument separation's good, because I think the BA is doing the upper section. Everything sounds very clear. Everything sounds like it's supposed to, very natural. Kind of hard to fault, really. Again, that's tuned better than I expected, really. I know I graphed these after listening to them, which is, so it doesn't affect my judgment, but that's what it looks like. Obviously the 8K peak is from the actual, yeah, it's how it's measured. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So that little step in the low end, just ignore that, might be just how it's measured, but again, I had no issues with that. I missed the ambient, the game mode. So if you triple tap, it's game mode, which gets to 80 milliseconds. Seems to work fine for my brief kind of time testing it. Also, they have voice assistant. I've tried it once. Works fine. Again, I had no issues with anything like that. Yes, so on the whole, they actually are very good. Kind of hard to fault, really. They do everything very well. So, yeah, so that's it, really. So, conclusion is these are pretty much as good as these. The WF-1000 XM4s. These are twice the price of these, but the rest of the functionality is kind of the same. Nearly as good, so half the price, but nearly as good. The Sony are very good, but they are kind of expensive. I prefer the shell of these. I think it fits a bit better. So yeah, conclusion, an easy recommendation from me. Really nice piece of tuning. Everything works very well on them overall. Battery life could be better, really, because the Sonys are better. On AAC, they hit nearly 12. LDAC, they only get 4. So obviously LDAC takes a ton of processing power. But yeah, on the whole, these are very good. Mic's good, fit good, sounds good. The app's got a lot of functionality. All the ambient modes are good. So yeah, easy recommendation from me. I just wish the battery life was a bit better, but I think that's it. Anything else you want to know, just as usual, just let me know in the comments. I think I've covered everything. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, so yeah, thank you very much for watching and take care.